So this is the left kidney, left renal vein, left renal artery and the left ureter. This is the right kidney, the right renal vein, right renal artery and the right ureter. When we trace both the ureters, these two ureters are opening at the lateral angles of the urinary bladder. So this is the apex of the bladder. This is the apex of the bladder, and here this will be the anterior border of the urinary bladder. Anterior border of the urinary bladder, which separates the two inferolateral surfaces. Two inferolateral surfaces. So this is the prostate. So this is the prostate gland which is surrounding the neck of the bladder. So this is the prostate gland. So this will be the male urinary bladder. So in female, prostate gland will not be present. So this is the anterior border which separates the two inferolateral surfaces, and this is the apex of the bladder which gives attachment to the urachus, which is a remnant of allantoic diverticulum, And here if you see, this is the superior surface of the bladder. Superior surface of the bladder. There are two lateral borders here which separate superior surface from inferolateral surface. There are two lateral borders which separate superior surface from inferolateral surface, and here this is the posterior border. This is the posterior border which separates the posterior surface from the superior surface. Posterior border separates the posterior surface from the superior surface. So this is the apex of the bladder, this is the neck of the bladder, and this will be the posterior surface or base of the bladder. Okay. So base of the bladder will be separated in female from the uterus by vesicouterine pouch, whereas in case of male, so base of the bladder will be separated from the ampulla of the rectum. Okay, by rectovesical pouch. So if you observe, there is an apex which gives attachment to urachus. There is a base, otherwise called posterior surface. There are following surfaces, like there are two inferolateral surfaces, one superior surface and one posterior surface, which is also called base. On the borders are one anterior border separating the two inferolateral surfaces, two lateral borders separating the two inferolateral surfaces from superior surface, and one posterior border separating superior surface and posterior surface. Clear?